Question 1 to 4. True, false, not given. First, the Montgolfier brothers were the first people to fly in a hot air balloon. This statement is false. In paragraph B, second line, initial flights were trailed by animals, but after the success of these voyages, two passengers, Jean-Francois Pilatre and Francois Laurent, were sent in a balloon which travelled across Paris for 29 minutes. And in paragraph A, first line, the birth of the hot air balloon is largely contributed to the efforts of two French brothers, Joseph and Etienne Montgolfier, who employed the fact that hot air was lighter than cool air and using this managed to lift a small silk balloon 32 meters into the air. It is clearly mentioned that Joseph and Montgolfier invented the hot air balloon, and Jean-Francois Pilatre and Francois Laurent were the first ones to travel in the hot air balloon. So it's false. Second, hot air ballooning became less popular in late 18th century. This statement is true. In paragraph C, first line, the discovery of hydrogen-fueled flights led to the death in 1785 of Pilatre, a tragedy which caused a downfall in the popularity of hot air ballooning, but an increase in popularity of hydrogen. This statement is true, as it is clearly mentioned in paragraph that the death of Pilatre led to downfall of popularity of hot air balloon. Third, the largest hot air balloon had a capacity of over 75,000 cubic meters. This statement is false. In paragraph D, first line, at the time this balloon was the largest ever constructed, that 65,000 cubic meters, but 4 years later he and Per Lindstrand from Sweden flew nearly 8,000 kilometers from Japan to northern Canada in their balloon, the Virgin Pacific Flyer, which was nearly 10,000 cubic meters bigger and was the largest flight in a hot air balloon ever made. This statement is false. This paragraph explains that largest hot air balloon ever constructed was 65,000 cubic meters. Because it is given that 65,000 cubic meters was the largest ever constructed, but 4 years later, he and Per Lindstrand from Sweden flew nearly 800 kilometers from Japan to northern Canada in their balloon, the Virgin Pacific Flyer, which was nearly 10,000 cubic meters, bigger, not properly 10,000 cubic meter bigger. So it is false. Fourth, membership of BFA is only open to people in America. This statement is not given because information is not available for this statement. Question 5 to 7. Answer the question below. Fifth, who accompanied the entrepreneur on the longest balloon flight? Its answer is Per Lindstrand. In paragraph D, first line, in 1987, British entrepreneur Richard Branson crossed the Atlantic in a balloon named Virgin Atlantic Flyer. At the time, this balloon was the largest ever constructed at 65,000 cubic meters. But 4 years later, he and Per Lindstrand from Sweden flew nearly 8,000 kilometers from Japan to northern Canada in their balloon, the Virgin Pacific Flyer. It is clearly mentioned in paragraph D that along with the entrepreneur, Per Lindstrand traveled with him in the balloon. Sixth, who follows a hot air balloon's flight to retrieve the craft when it lands? The answer is ground crew or the ground crew. In paragraph F, second line, the pilot can control the speed of the balloon by increasing or decreasing the flow of propane gas, but they cannot control horizontal direction. As a result, Balloons are often followed by ground crew who may have to pick up the pilot, passengers, and balloon from any number of landing sites. Balloons are followed by ground crew as sometimes they have to pick up some pilot, passenger, and balloons from the landing site. 7. What can give newcomers to the sport some idea of the feeling of flying a balloon? The answer is balloon simulator. In paragraph G, fourth line, they run a number of training courses from a novice who is interested in getting a basic license to pilot achievement courses. They even boast of balloon simulators which, although will not directly lead to pilot's license, it can give participants a degree of sensation enjoyed by professional balloon pilots. A balloon simulator will help them give the idea or feel of a hot air balloon since they cannot have a license, so it is the best way to get the feel by using a balloon simulator. It is clearly mentioned in the last paragraph of the reading passage. Question 8 to 11. Label the diagram below. 8th part A. In paragraph E, 7th line, at the top of the envelope is a self-closing flap that allows hot air to escape at a controlled rate through slow ascents or cause the balloons to descend. This is named the parachute valve. It is clearly mentioned in paragraph 5 that the top of the envelope which allows the hot air to escape is called a parachute valve. B. In paragraph E, fifth line, the balloon itself is made of strips of fabric called cores, which run from the skirt to the top of the balloon. They are further broken into individual panels. This section of the craft is referred to as the envelope. It is mentioned in paragraph that strips of fabric running from skirt to top of the balloon are called the envelope of balloon. In this diagram, the location of C and D is not clear, so there is another diagram which is, this is side by side comparison of these two diagrams which is taken from another reading passage. This part of the balloon is called panels and these are the gores. It is given in paragraph E, the balloon itself is made of stripes of fabric called gore, which run from the skirt to the top of the balloon. As it is mentioned in paragraph that the balloon is made up of stripes of fabric called gores. These are the gores. And they are further broken into individual panels. And the gores are broken into individual panels called panels. So these are panels. The answer of C is panel and the D part of the hot air balloon is gore.